Parents, can I be honest with you about something? Last Tuesday, my kids spilled juice on the kitchen floor, and I watched their face. The first thing I saw wasn't oops, it was fear. Pure, instant fear. My child wasn't thinking I made a mistake. They were thinking, Mom's going to be mad. That hit me hard. Because I'm not a screamer, I don't punish over accidents. But somehow, my kid had learned to be afraid of getting things wrong around me. And that's when I asked myself, am I too strict? Now, I believe in structure. Kids need boundaries and consistency. I'm not talking about letting them run wild. But there's a line, and a lot of us cross it without realizing. We think we're building discipline, but we're actually building fear. So today, let's walk through 5 signs you might be too strict. Not to shame you, but because I've been there, and I wish someone had told me sooner.
Sign number 1. Your child is terrified of messing up. Your 7-year-old erases the same math problem 5 times, not because they don't know the answer, but because they're terrified it won't be perfect. Your 4-year-old spills water at dinner and bursts into tears, apologizing over and over. I had a moment like this last year. My kid brought home a school project about the solar system. They'd worked on it for hours. And I said, "Oh, Bud, you spelled Jupiter wrong. We should fix that." Their face crumpled, because in their mind, one mistake meant the whole thing was ruined. And that was about me. Every time they'd made a mistake before, I'd focused on fixing it, not celebrating the effort. And their brain learned, mistakes equal I failed. That's not building resilience. That's building anxiety.
Sign number 2. Your child lies to you or hides things. And I know what you're thinking. Kids lie. But here's the thing. Kids don't lie because they're bad. They lie because honesty feels unsafe. A few months ago, my kid forgot to tell me about a note from school. Field trip money, not a big deal. But they shoved it in the bottom of their backpack for 3 days. When I found it, I asked, "Why didn't you just give this to me?" And they said, so quietly, "I thought you'd be mad that I forgot." Think about what that means. My child had learned that avoiding the truth was safer than telling me. That's heartbreaking, because I'd reacted strongly in the past, and their brain learned truth equals easier to just not say anything.
Sign number 3. Your child does what they're told. They follow the rules, but they don't talk. Not really. They've become compliant, but somewhere along the way, you lost the connection. I didn't notice this at first. My kid was being good, doing homework without being asked, going to bed on time. And I thought, great, it's working. But then one day, I asked how school was. They said fine, so I pushed. What was the best part of your day? And they just shrugged. I don't know. It was fine. When was the last time they actually told me something? Not because I asked, but because they wanted to share. I couldn't remember, because I'd made every conversation about behavior, and my kid learned talking to mom equals getting corrected, so they stopped talking. That's the trade-off with really strict parenting. You get compliance, but you lose connection. Sign number 4. Your child is an angel at home, but the second you're not around, total chaos. Teachers say they're disruptive. Relatives say they don't listen. And you're thinking, that's not my kid. But here's what's happening. Your child has learned to behave out of fear, not understanding. So when you're watching, perfect behavior. When you're not, all bets are off. I saw this at a birthday party last year. At home, my kid is polite, shares, follows rules. But at the party, another mom said, Your kiddo was kind of rough with some younger kids." I was shocked. But then I realized, at home, I'm there, my rules are there. At the party, I wasn't. They didn't have internal discipline yet. They had external control. Big difference. When you follow the speed limit, is it only because you're afraid of a ticket or because you understand it keeps people safe? Kids are the same.
Sign number 5. Your child can't make simple decisions. They ask permission for everything. Can I have a snack? Can I play with this toy? At first, you think, great, they're respectful. But then you realize they're not being respectful. They're afraid to choose wrong. I noticed this when my kid asked, "Mom, which pencil should I use for homework?" And I was like, it doesn't matter, pick one. But they just stood there, frozen. Because I'd made so many decisions for them that they didn't trust themselves anymore. What to wear, what to eat, when to do homework. I thought I was being helpful, but I was taking away their confidence. These kids become adults who can't make choices, who second-guess everything, who need constant validation, because they never learn to trust their own judgment.
So here's what I started doing differently. When my kid makes a mistake now, I pause, take a breath, and say, you know what? Messing up is how humans learn. Scientists mess up all the time. That's the whole point. Or, that didn't work, huh? Okay, let's figure out what to try next. Not, it's fine, don't worry, because that dismisses the learning. Not, let me fix this for you, because that takes away their power. Just, mistakes are part of learning. Let's do this together. When something comes up, I respond with calm first. Even if I'm frustrated, I say, hey, thanks for telling me. I know that wasn't easy. Let's figure out what to do. And every day, I spend at least 10 minutes with my kid, where I don't correct, teach, or ask them to do anything. We just exist together. Sometimes we play a game. Sometimes we just sit together. And slowly, they're opening up again.
I also give small, age-appropriate choices now. For a 4-year-old, red shirt or blue. For an 8-year-old, homework before or after dinner. For a 12-year-old, how do you want to organize your study time? Same structure, same boundaries, but they're learning, I can make decisions, and they matter. And slowly, their confidence is growing. Autonomy doesn't create chaos. It creates responsibility. And I'm watching the transformation. They're trying more things, taking more risks, being more honest, opening up more. The fear is fading. Connection. And from connection, everything else follows. That's what we're aiming for. Let's recap the 5 signs. Number 1, your child is terrified of making mistakes. Number 2, they hide the truth from you. Number 3, they're obedient but emotionally distant. Number 4, they behave for you but fall apart elsewhere. Number 5, they can't make simple decisions without you. If you saw yourself in even one of these, listen. This is not failure. This is awareness. And awareness is the first step. Strictness comes from love. You're trying to raise them right. But connection creates growth. You don't need to be less firm. You need to be more emotionally safe. There's a difference between being strict and being scary, between having rules and having control. Strong kids aren't raised by fear. They're raised by understanding. By parents who are willing to pause, reflect, and adjust. parents like you. If this video helped you see something differently, hit that like button and subscribe. Share it with another parent who's trying their best, because we're all figuring this out as we go. And you're doing better than you think. See you in the next video.